So I'm not really sure what the best way to approach this. A couple things, I probably should just buy a new one, at least get the cheap one. Or the other way is, since I'm taking it off anyways, go ahead and see if we can kind of sand that down a little bit, get to some good metal, and put her back on there. Looks like about a 3/16. First I want to loosen this a little bit and make sure it's not under pressure. Safety goggles. Alright. Clearly not under pressure. Oh, so I got it in a little drill press vise. I don't have a regular vise, but it seems to be working okay so far. Well, it's not feeling good, but I'll let it sit for a second. Not really sure, but I think I messed up the threads. Hard to tell. And there, it looks like it's actually bent. Some amount of force trying to take it out, I guess. Alright, so I guess for now, until I get the new one, I'm just going to clean this out a little bit and put like aluminum foil over it just to kind of protect it. So there's what she looks like on the inside, the bottom of the motor. Spins a simple valve. I guess I should have showed you in there. I'll show you the next time. Uncover that. Alright, so I got the motor off like I said before, and I'm going to hit it with the angle grinder to knock some of this rust off here. So obviously I'm going to try to not hit the wires or any of this top piece, but got some POR paint ordered and I'll cover it up with that. So I think that's going to work. Knocked all the loose rust off there and got down some pretty decent metal. Some paint still left, but some paint still left on it. But it is good enough for some POR. Put back on the boat. So you have to excuse the mess back here. But what I wanted to do is avoid having the issue with the bolt. So just basically got a simple tap and chased all these threads. So I've already done the 3 of them. Originally I was going to dump out the fluid from here, but I was concerned about some of the parts falling out. I think most of it's intact in there, but there is a little piece here that fell over. It's pretty simple and straightforward. I believe it just slips, the small part slips on there, the larger part goes into the motor. Just like that. The larger part goes right onto that part there. So I will assemble it back. There's a finished paint job, by the way. But I will assemble it back and then drain it through the plug there, just to make sure nothing falls out. Alright, just a quick little final look. little glossier than I really wanted it to be, but the ultimate goal of keeping it from rusting, I think, has definitely been achieved here. So the motor's fully functional. No need to buy a new one. No need to spend $300. I've probably spent, I think, well, of course, my time, but $10 on the paint. You could probably even use a cheaper rattle can of Rust-Oleum and do the same thing. So just grind it down, get all the rust off, and while I have it out, of course, I'm going to go ahead and do some maintenance on it. Go ahead and get the fluid in. I never changed the fluid before, so I'm unsure if the other guy did. So I've had the boat maybe 5 to 6 years, probably 5 years. So definitely something while I'm here, just go ahead and change the fluid. So I'll cover that now. Alright, so I'm a little bit of a fluid snob. I typically use just the Mercury stuff. Just in a pinch, of course life happens, I wanted to get this done, and Walmart was the only thing that was open. So I bought this from Walmart, and we'll give it a try. What I didn't know before I bought it is how much is actually needed. This is 8 fluid ounces. So I'm going to drain this, and then if more than 8 ounces comes out, then I'll return this and get a larger bottle, number one, and probably go down to boat store and get a Quicksilver brand. Probably the same stuff, but I do also believe you can use just regular transmission fluid instead of the manual. So I'll put that in the video down here in the bottom if that's the case. But anyways, so this is what I'm going to use. Alright, so just give me a little bit of a protection in case I spill it. Wow, it's a very, very small amount. I think it was a little bit low to begin with. That was 2 ounces maybe? I don't know if you can see, but the fluid actually looks pretty good. Which way is better, but I had expected to see maybe a little bit of sediment or some. Now this cup was dirty when I poured it in. There is some stuff in there, but I think it's from the cup. But color looks good. Doesn't smell burned or anything like that. So probably didn't need to do anything. Probably just needed to add. But hopefully this thing has a little spout on it, and it does. I filled up to the threads. Ooh. Oh, that's not going in. Actually wasn't going in right, so what I'm going to do is fill it up best I can, and then some will certainly drain out. Alright, so got it all mounted back up, put white lithium grease here, this little section there, and over here as well. So did on these up here as well. The biggest problem I had is getting this pin back in. Basically you have to align this, there's a little slot that needs to, you need to shift it in or out just enough, and that pin goes up and in that slot. Got some really big channel lock pliers, put duct tape around the teeth so it wouldn't scratch it up, and just used it to pinch right here. It went right up in there. So it looks like it's as far as it'll go. It's kind of seated. So yeah, I'll just kind of watch this to make sure it doesn't come out. I still need to mount the sacrificial anode on the bottom and do this ground strap here, so I'll do that next. But what I wanted to do is just get it on there, it looks pretty good, and test it out. So I've got this wire just temporarily connected on the outside, pulled my pin here, and I got the battery on, so just to make sure it works before I take the time to route it through. There we go. So I've actually cycled it a few times before I started the video, so I'm pretty confident that's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and run the wires. I bought some anti-seize for the bottom. Those, I think I told you, or I think I showed that I broke one of the bolts there. I was able to get it out with vice grips. This one, however, I was not. So I'm still working on it. I sprayed some penetrant on there. Let's see if it'll come out today. But this is the one that holds the wire over this pin, basically. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to get that out or not. So now, just going to route the wires back up and through this grommet like it was. Should be good to go. So just a little bit of an issue. Basically saw a little bit of a leak, a couple drops. Figured maybe it'd work itself out in the going up and down. Put it all the way down as part of its cycle, and heard a squish, kind of a gentle pop squish something, and a lot of fluid came out. So I'm guessing either those bolts are not tightened down enough, or the seal around that needs to be replaced. After all that, it's coming back off. Good news is I know how to take it off really quick. So this is what happens when you get rushed and don't pay attention to details. That is a gasket right there. Have no idea how I missed that. So I'm going to take this off again, see if I can get it all put back together. Hopefully that is not cut. If it's intact, I can still use it. My guess is I may have to get a new one at this point. So let me crack her open and see what happens. Just a final wrap-up video here to show you where I'm at. So what happened was I got to where I installed the assembly twice and it still was leaking. So I'm not exactly sure if I did not torque down the bolts properly and it blew that seal out. I don't think I put it together with that seal hanging out like that. Actually, that's what that pop was. So I'll show you where I'm at. I don't know if maybe I didn't torque these bolts down enough and it was leaking out here, or if there was something that I didn't do right. Also, when I pulled it apart to reset the gasket, there was a little round spring in there. So not exactly sure where that spring came from. So I took the whole thing into the dealer. I just didn't have time to get it all finished before my hunting season. So broke down, took it all into the dealer, and they basically said I needed, after all, a new trim motor. So they had that one that they had installed on there for testing, and they said if you want it, you can have it for a reduced rate. I think it was $150 installed. It's already on there, ready to go. Or the new one, of course, was like $300, $400, whatever it was, plus the labor. So it did give me a 30-day warranty on that. So unfortunately, I had to spend money to get it fixed. But hopefully this video will show you how to pull this off, take the motor apart, and in theory, if the motor was good when I put it back together, this all would have been a successful project. So yeah, a little bit of a letdown, but it's all back functioning. I've driven it maybe about 8 or so hours now on this, working fine. Thanks for watching.